Hi there, Angel here. I love good anime battle systems. My Dice Goblin brain loves it when I don't need to be explain the action happening on my screen, but rather everything makes sense because the world's fictional power system makes sense. Now, every show doesn't need to have an in-depth power system. Like I got no clue at most of the time what the fuck is happening in Chainsaw Man, and it is still 100% awesome still. And just to be clear, when I say power system, I mean the shared set of rules in a universe that explain how characters use their abilities. So yeah, in this video I'll be going over what I love about proper power systems in anime and why they are so important. Starting things off with Naruto. It does the brilliant move of adding in one new piece of information per arc or fight. Let's take early Naruto for example. The very first jutsu we are introduced to in the series is Transformation Jutsu in Naruto's classroom. Following it up, we see it being used naturally between Mizuki and Izuka, while by the end of the fight, it introduced Shadow Clone Jutsu. Cut to the bell training, we see Naruto use Shadow Clone Jutsu countered by Transformation Jutsu, and a new technique gets introduced which is Substitution Jutsu, which we see later is used during the Demon Brothers attack and then used as second nature in Zabuza vs Kakashi fight. Every new trick here being introduced in Naruto rather than being a one-time trick introduces a new piece into its overall puzzle. Kekkei Genkai, Summoning Jutsu, and so on. We see a pattern of introducing smaller new tricks which are often shared and reused by other characters later on without requiring detailed explanation each time. From fistfights among kids to more deadly encounters to full on death matches among series top tiers, we see a rise in complexity of strategies used in fights because everything new being introduced is coupled with techniques introduced beforehand, leading to a much more enjoyable fight. Blue Lock, being a more realistic setting, introduces a lot of psychological and strategical techniques and categorizations, which is then utilized by the rest of the players without having to explain it each time again for those players. Now, before anyone might object, Blue Lock is not technically a battle anime, I would like to say only one thing in my defense. Now, this doesn't mean every player or ninja has to have the exact same powers, but rather they all feel connected to the same core theme. Take, for example, the first time Isagi came across Aiko in the Blue Lock vs Japan Under 20. Seeing opponent use the same techniques which Isagi had been trying to learn throughout the Blue Lock elimination process was a brilliant move and something which we never see happen again. But we see in Blue Lock how every character keeps on growing over time, learning through shared experience on the field. Even in shows like World Trigger, One Piece, or Jujutsu Kaisen, we can see and understand the battle taking place because we get it. No need for Brock to inform us that fire type is weak against water type, or some random anime character needs to describe everything that is happening on screen in 1,000 words. No, because the action itself speaks for itself. The exchange between Ren and his brother, Kakashi versus Obito, Megumi versus the special curse spirit. These are fights which hold a special place in my heart, because they are the cumulative result of everything we have seen so far in the series in one single fight. And it not only makes up for a cool fight on screen, but helps the plot as well. Full Metal Alchemist. Its ending works so well because of how well explained the core concept of their power system was. Compare it to a series like, this will be a cheap shot, but Fairy Tail. And you understand why the phrase power of friendship is trolled on so much online. When the author has given zero explanation to how the powers of a series work, and the only logical conclusion left is for people to just say they use their emotion to get stronger when needed. These are successful battle animes which have seen great success. But the immersion is broken when one way curve stop turns into the other way curve storm, like from villain to hero. It's just a curve storm either way. If you look around on internet, you will find the majority of big anime fan bases belongs to battle anime series. And not only that, but it is usually series with some explanation of its universe power system. JoJo, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Jujutsu Kaisen, Dragon Ball Z, and many more. The reason is not simply because the fights in the series are cooler, but also because when it is easier to imagine how the powers work in a given fantasy series, it is easier to immerse yourself into that universe. Internet is filled with fan OC, fan fictions, and fan animation of these works. Half of the anime community is filled with debates of one famous high tier character against the other famous high tier characters. Now, this all has also given the rise to power scalers, though insufferable at times. They are flooding every platform where debate on such topics can be had. Simply put, when there is more nuance in any fight, be it fiction or reality, the fan immersion increases tenfold. I myself have been playing a D&D campaign for 3 years now using the One Piece universe setting and have been having a blast. A big factor of that is the well explained power system of that One Piece universe, which has helped me to try and recreate a part of it in our game. In the end, I do realize whoever the author wants to win will win. Shout out to Stanley. But still, just like how a boxing fan gets super excited over the technicalities of a fight, I, as an anime fan, get excited when I understand what is happening and why it is happening. And for that to happen, a tremendous amount of effort needs to be made by the author. And for such series, whose author do that? And well, whenever we fans find such series, we cherish them for years, even after their end. And being one such fan myself, I wanted to share my thoughts on the subject. Now, this is the first video on this channel on the topic of anime, but something tells me I'll be posting a lot more in the upcoming future. So, if you found it interesting and got, if you were entertained, do like and subscribe. It feels a bit corny to do that, saying that in my very first video, but hey, you never know until you ask, huh? Adios.